Everyone, we are going to be starting here. We're going to be looking at laws of indices. Okay, so the first law of indices is that a raised to power m times a raised to power m is equal to a raised to power m plus n. That means when you multiply two indices of equal base, you must add their powers. So a good example, if we have 5 raised to power 3 times 5 raised to power 2, it's the same thing as saying 5 raised to power 3 plus 2, which is equal to 5 raised to power 5. In the same way, if I have a raised to power 3 times a raised to power 4, it is equal to a raised to power 3 plus 4, which is equal to a raised to power 7. Okay, so that leads us to the second law, which is the division law. That means when you are dividing two indices of equal base, then you subtract the power. So a good example, if I have a raised to power 7 divided by a raised to power 2 is the same thing as saying a raised to power 7 minus 2, and that will give us a raised to power 5. Okay, so the next one is negative index law, where the power is negative. So a raised to power minus m is equal to 1 over a raised to power m. So if I have 5 raised to power minus 2, is the same thing as saying 1 over 5 raised to power 2. Okay, now it's the same thing if I have, let's say, 4 raised to power minus 1, is the same thing as saying 1 over 4, or 1 over 4 raised to power 1. Now I will also want to say this, that the negative index rule can change a fraction, can invert a fraction. That means if I have a over b raised to power minus m, is the same thing as saying b over a all raised to power m. Okay, that means it has an inverting power. Just like if we have, let's say, 9 over 16 raised to power minus 3, is the same thing as saying 16 over 9 raised to power 3. Okay, that is it for negative index law. Now the next one is fractional index law. That means when the power is a fraction. Now a raised to power m over n is the same thing as nth root of a raised to power m, or we can say nth root of a all raised to power m. A good example is when you have, let's say, 9 raised to power half. The nth root, now this the denominator becomes the root. That makes it square root of 9 all raised to power 1, and square root of 9 is 3. In the same way, we can see 8 raised to power 2 over 3. Now over 3 here means cube root, so we can say the cube root of 8 all raised to power 2. And the cube root of 8 with our calculator is 2. So when we say 2 raised to power 2 here, that is going to give us 4. Okay? Yes. So that leads us to the next law, which is the common index law. So common index law, or you say common power law, you can see a raised to power m times b raised to power m both have the same power. So it's the same thing as ab all raised to power m. A good example, if I have 2 raised to power m times 3 raised to power m, since they have equal powers, it's the same thing as saying 2 times 3 all raised to power m, which is equal to 6 raised to power m. Okay, we can see another example there. If we have, let's say 2 raised to power 2 times 4 raised to power 2 is the same thing as saying 2 times 4 all raised to power 2, and 2 times 4 is 8. We have 8 raised to power 2, which is equal to 64. That's the next is that when two numbers having the same base divide, then they have common power. So if we have a raised to power 2 divided by 2 b raised to power 2, it's the same thing as saying a over b all raised to power 2. Okay, in the same way, if we are given something like this, 8 raised to power half divided by 2 raised to power half, it's the same thing as saying 8 over 2 all raised to power half, which is 4 raised to power half. And 4 raised to power half means square root of 4, which is equal to 2. Okay, the next rule is that a raised to power 0 equal to 1. That means any number raised to power 0 equal to 1. 100 raised to power 0 is 1. Okay, 1000 raised to power 0 is 1. Then the next rule here is called the product of power rule. That means a raised to power m all raised to power n is equal to a raised to power m times n. So if I have a raised to power 2 all raised to power 3, is the same thing as saying a raised to the power 2 times 3, which is equal to a raised to the power 6. Okay, I can have something a little bit more complex. Let's say a squared b then c cubed all raised to the power 4. Now it means that this 4, remember common power, they all have the same common power, which is raised to the power 4. And according to this product of power law, the 4 can multiply all the powers. So this should be a raised to the power 8, b raised to the power 4, then c raised to the power 12. That means 2 times 4, 8, 1 times 4, 4, then 3 times 4 gives us 12. Okay, so we see some questions here based on some of the laws that we've seen, and we can provide solutions to them. The first one is 8 raised to the power 2 over 3. Now, according to fractional index law, 8 raised to the power 2 over 3 will be the cube root of 8 all raised to the power 2. And we say that the cube root of 8 is 2, okay, raised to the power 2, and that gives us 4. Now, the next question here, we are given 81 raised to the power 3 over 4 times 121 all over 144 raised to the power minus half, okay? For this now, we can say this is the fourth root of 81. Fourth root of 81 all raised to the power 3. Now multiply by this, like we mentioned, is the same thing as 144 all over 121 all raised to the power half. If you remember, I mentioned something like that. The minus sign, the negative index, inverts the fraction. Okay, so the fourth root of 81 is 3, so we have 3 raised to the power 3. Multiply by raised to the power half means square root, so square root of 144 is 12, square root of 121 is 11. Okay, so 3 raised to the power 3 is 27, so we are going to get 27 times 12 divided by 11, which we can achieve the final answer using our calculator. Now we'll move to the next one, the third question. 16 raised to the power minus 1 over 4 divided by 81 raised to the power 1 over 2. Okay, that can be written as fourth root of 16 all raised to the power minus 1. Okay, then divided by your 81 here, raised to the power half means square root of 81. Okay, now the fourth root of 16 is 2, so you have 2 raised to the power minus 1 divided by your square root of 81 is 9. Okay, so 2 raised to the power minus 1 actually means 1 over 2. Then the division sign changes to multiplication, then your 9 becomes 1 over 9, and that gives us 1 over 18 as our final answer. Now we move over to another set of questions. We see this. Now here we have cube root of 5 multiplied by the cube root of 25. Now the problem is that the cube root of 5 is not a whole number. The cube root of 25 is also not a whole number. But you notice that 5 and 25 both have equal powers. They have common power. So we can still write that as 5 times 25, okay, all raised to power 1 over 3. And 5 times 25 is actually 125 raised to power 1 over 3. That means cube root of 125, which will give us 5, okay? We get 5, so 5 is the answer to that. Now that leads us to the next question, which is the cube root of 27. 27 raised to power 1 over 3 times 3 raised to power minus 1 over 3. It's the same thing here. The cube root of 27 is actually possible. Then the cube root of minus 1 over 3 is not possible. Okay, so, but since they have the same power, we don't need to, since this is already cube root, we can say cube root of 27, okay, then multiply by 3 raised to power minus 1 over 3. It can be written as 1 over 3 raised to power 1 over 3. Okay, the minus sign there means inverse. Now cube root of 27, okay, let's leave this. Cube root of 27 is 3. So we can say 3 times 3 raised to power minus 1 over 3. Now your 3 here means raised to power 1. And so that can be 3 raised to power 1 minus 1 over 3, since they both have common index, common base. Okay, so that means the final answer is 3 raised to power 2 over 3, because 1 minus 1 over 3 is 2 over 3. Now that's a mistake. We were supposed to multiply the whole of this. Okay, so let's do that again. We have 27 raised to the power 1 over 3, which means the cube root of 27, that's 3. Then multiply by this is 3 raised to the power minus 1 over 3. Then multiply by here 18, this is square root of 18, which is not a whole number. Square root of 2, which is not a whole number, but it can be written as 18 times 2, then all raised to the power 1 over 2. Now this 2, we can apply the first law of indices, multiplication law, which is 3 raised to the power 1 minus 1 over 3. Okay, multiplied by, now 18 times 2 here is 36, okay, raised to the power half. Now this gives us 3 raised to the power 1 minus 1 over 3 is 2 over 3. Now multiply by 36 raised to the power half means square root of 36, which is 6, Now we can simplify this further. We can say that 6 is 3 times 2. So we can have 3 raised to the power 2 over 3 times 3 times 2. And remember, your 3 here means 3 raised to the power 1. So that will give us 3 raised to the power 2 over 3 plus 1, then times 2. That will give us 2 raised to the power 5 over 3 times 2. Okay, we can leave our answers this way. 2 raised to the power 3 raised to the power 5 over 3, then multiplied by 2. That can be our answer there, our simplification. Thank you very much. I want to ask you to subscribe to our channel. Please just click the subscribe button so that you can get notice on every of our videos. Thank you very much.